Real, y'all. Taking you on another one.
What up, fish tank people? FishTankTV.com. Dustin's Fish Tanks bring it to you on a Sunday. How's everybody doing? How about a little garden pond action for you?
So my back garden pond has been a complete mosquito haven and eyesore pretty much since the day I put it in the greenhouse. Hey, why mess with a garden pond when I've got 4 125s, 4 75s, and a 90 to play in? However, I got the urge this season to finally do something about it. I had my aquarium plant supplier send me a mixed batch of her best pond plants from Florida. Seeing the massive green leaves on a pond lily and some fat taro plants got me excited about it again. Note, buying plants then designing your pond or fish tank is ass backwards. But for me, it got me fired up to get rolling. So here we go. From the start, it was a poor design. The rock waterfall just didn't look right in the square wooden design. 2 different concepts clearly not working. Guess what? That rock isn't exactly light either. The first thing I had to do was remove all the rock around the sides, even to get into it. This was a pain, but I got some good exercise. My goal both externally and internally was to get the pond back to a clean canvas, so to speak. This wasn't easily done. The pond had become overgrown with some native cattails and some weird tall grass Brian gave me years ago. This doesn't include being entirely filled with mud. I'm not sure which is worse, lugging the giant-ass rocks I had in it or pulling out all the weeds from inside of it. While the weeds were lighter and a bit easier on my hands, getting 2-year-old stagnant pond scum splashing up on me wasn't exactly ideal. There are also a number of mosquitoes that started to bite me later on in the evenings when I was working on this. Once I got the pond basically drained, I was ready to see what was going on inside of it. You could see that the wood was starting to split. Look, I'd love to tear this thing down and do a massive in-ground pond and fill it with koi, okay? It just isn't happening at this time. I decided to make the best of what I had going on. This holds true with your fish tanks too. Be resourceful. Use what you can, use what you've got, and keep moving forward. I took a piece of wood and screwed it into the corner of each of the hunks of wood, kind of to reinforce the corners. While the pond was drained, I reattached the liner to the sides as well as it was filling up. Now we are ready for water. I didn't bother putting any dechlorinator in at this point, as there's no fish going into it anytime soon. The goal with my pond, just like in my tanks, is to plant the hell out of them. It both looks better and the plants work for you, reducing algae and sucking the waste out of the water. I had these spare pond baskets that work pretty well around. I put a layer of some larger grade gravel on the bottom, then some straight up dirt in these baskets. If I've said it once, I've literally said it 1,000 times. Plants need to eat, people. Feed them at their roots. Again, plants need to eat, feed them at their roots. To avoid a big mess, I did cap the dirt with about 1 inch of gravel. I've found that rinsing these baskets with pond water outside of the pond prior to putting them into the pond helps reduce the mess even more. I planted it up with some nice taros, a mosquito, an imperial, and a black magic. I've also planted some sweet hardy and tropical lilies in here. It's not done yet, but it's certainly one heck of a lot better than it was. I still need to figure out an aesthetically pleasing way to get some nice water flow in here. So drop me a comment on your thoughts on this and what you think of this pond so far. Check out some of my old videos I did a while back as well, helping Steve dig his fat in-ground garden pond. I've also got a pretty sick interview with the European aquascaper Mr. George Farmer coming up next week. So if you like what I'm doing, subscribe, make it an awesome week, and tank on, everyone. Later.